Hello, I'm preoccupying the same space as I did last time, actually, which is interesting. I'm going to walk up these steps, get some exercise. Norwich City have beaten Luton here at Carrow Road 3-0 today, about as routine and as comfortable as it's been all season. Down there is Max Aarons being interviewed. I deliberately waited for him to finish his press with the guys today, just because he would obviously be asked about his name. Apparently Chris Gorham told me, he said he just never felt able to correct everyone. So there you go, Max Aarons it is, and he was very good today, as was everyone. It was, as I said, pretty routine, dare I say, straightforward victory today. I was just coming up to where the guys are, they would be doing the music, which I'm sure they're fine-tuning for when all you guys come back. Down here in the corner of the... Well, I'm in the snake pit, aren't I? That's exciting. There you go. So yeah, routine, I think, is the fair way of putting it today. Norwich were 1-0 up after about 12 minutes. Teemu Pukki, who then scored again just before half-time. It was sort of him getting on the end of a move for the second goal at the back post, where Luton really had just stepped off Norwich and their level dropped, and Norwich were passing it around and ended up at the far post, and Teemu couldn't miss. His first goal was a wonderful finish after a really clever move, especially through Todd Cantwell, who teed him up. And Todd had a scratchy couple of minutes, and Daniel Farke mentioned it too. It just took him a bit of time maybe to get up to speed, having missed a few games. Straight back in the starting lineup, by the way, which Daniel Farke does like to do with Todd. Slightly surprised maybe he changed it, but he didn't, and slightly surprised he changed it, but it made sense as well, and came off. Once Todd got up to speed, he was really affecting the game positively on a day when actually Emi Buendia was a little bit off colour. He's got heavy strapping on one of his thighs, which he also had in midweek. A couple of times he would give the ball away and he just seemed a bit irritated, and it was just one of those games where sometimes you do wonder if it's going to go a bit wrong for him, but it didn't in that way, so that's good. And obviously Norwich have got a week now to reset and just recover a little bit, because it's been exerting several weeks, but certainly this week, especially with the Brentford game in midweek. But I think what I was saying was that the first goal, the opening goal in 12 minutes, was a brilliant finish, really well worked move, and an important goal, because actually the game had started off at a fair pace, really open. Nathan Jones made changes, and although he said he didn't really want to go gung-ho, he did play quite an attacking side, and he clearly wanted to go for Norwich, which his sides do. They do press high and aggressively and in a focused manner. And they had probably two really good chances early on. If they scored that, the whole dynamic of the game changes. But they didn't. In fact, James Collins hit the post, and of course James Collins has already had a hat-trick against Norwich. But they didn't take that chance. Norwich possibly a bit lucky then in that regard. But once Norwich got ahead, you didn't really sense that they were ever going to let it go. Here go the lights. What you would say at that point actually is that Norwich probably did need a third goal, and I was glad they were 2 up at half-time, because in the second half they were a little bit sloppy, a little bit passive, I suppose would probably be the best word. Likewise, Nathan Jones made some really astute changes. He changed it to a back 3, although it was mostly a 5, and also then brought on his more athletic players, or gave his side more athleticism with his changes on 60 minutes. I think it was a triple change on 60 minutes. And it was interesting because he'd actually set up his side with the Rotherham game in midweek in mind, and they only found out that game was called off because of Rotherham's latest COVID outbreak after they'd done all the prep work. So he didn't want to change his side with that in mind. So I would guess the way they changed it may have been something they'd have been closer to starting with had the Rotherham game not been called off. But then, I don't know, I mean, that would still have been in the afternoon. Would you still have been tempted to make a change? I mean, would it have taken that much prep work? Surely you still name the best side. I don't know. But there we go. Norwich benefited from that to a degree. I think it probably helped mitigate the 3-0 loss, which was secured by Todd Cantwell's wonderful goal. Picked it up just on the flank here. cut inside, drilled a low shot, picked up a deflection from the moment he took the shot and nestled in the corner, but I don't think the deflection really played a major part in what was a wonderful goal. Norwich could have made it 4. They were pretty comfortable from that point onwards. I do wish Daniel Farke would have freshened it up a bit earlier in the second half, because he has got the bench to do it. And they were starting to look a bit leggy. In the end, Teemu and Amy Buendia got about 10 minutes rest. And there were some big calls. Lucas Rupp started today. It was a call that made sense, I think, because Lucas is very dynamic. He's come on in recent games and done really well, and apparently he's been training really well too. We haven't seen him play much in the 10, but actually it worked pretty well in the 10. Maybe a little bit under the radar, but when you've got Emmy and Todd either side with Teemu up front, it doesn't matter too much. I think Marco Stiepermann is obviously champing at the bit to get involved as well now. So Lucas did well. I think a lot of people picked up on the fact that Kieran Dowell therefore didn't start, but he is going to have to just keep being patient, and you can understand the dynamism that Daniel Farke wanted today in that role, rather than Kieran, who's obviously much more of a classy, moves the ball kind of passing type of 10, so you could understand that. But all in all, I think it worked. It was a routine win. Norwich are on 84 points, 6 more. They're on 86. No, they're on 76 points, aren't they? That's right. 4 more points, and Daniel Farke can declare the playoffs are guaranteed. But of course, in reality, I think Norwich are racking up a total that not many championship sides have achieved at this point. I'm not even sure how many games it is to go now, but is it 34, 35? So maybe 11, 12 games to go. And they're cracking on at a rate of knots. They're putting in a decent gap over most teams, but it is Watford won earlier today, and Swansea picked up a win in the end. So there's a bit of a gap to Brentford now, and it's maybe those 3 where Norwich are going to have to watch. But I mean, it was interesting. I thought Daniel Farke, Nathan Jones said Norwich are the Manchester City of the Championship, which I think is a comment we've kind of, I think those who've watched Norwich regularly can see the logic in that, and we've probably said it. I'm sure I've said it myself, probably this time 2 seasons ago, because of just how Norwich go about it. So I don't think that's anything revelatory. It was obviously interesting given Daniel's relationship with Pep Guardiola that's become public knowledge in recent weeks. But also, it was interesting how Daniel Farke said that he wanted this to be he wanted the mentality, a title-winning, championship-winning mentality today. He wanted his side to actually go out and show that. And I thought that said a lot. You can see the shift now, I think, in Norwich. Actually, I actually think, in a way, they're trying to shift their focus onto really stamping their authority on things now, because they want to prove a point, because they want to be in a position going into next year where they're already getting the mindset set of beating better teams than this. And he said it himself. He's trying to alter the mindset of what they're going to take on next year, and in a way maybe just make sure there isn't that hangover almost of going back into the Premier League. Fair play for that. You have to walk before you can run, but I think they're now jogging and hopefully they'll be there soon. So fair play. What a position to be in. It's a joy to watch them play football. Some of the football today was outstanding. I think that's everything. It's a remarkable size squad he's got to play with at the moment. Seamus Rothwell-Head didn't even get in it. Now that Todd Cantwell's back in, at the point where Marco Stiepermann's back in, someone else is going to have to drop out of that 20. And that's a 20-man squad. Normally it'd be 18. It's phenomenal the amount of options he's got. But it's not a bad place to be, is it? I'm going to dip off for the week now, although I'm still working, obviously. Remember The Athletic for some great stuff on the way this week. Thanks for all your comments, questions. Keep them coming in. I'll give them a read. It's finished here 3-0. Enjoy it. Another clean sheet. It's just a phenomenal record. We go again. I'll see you at Hillsborough in 7 days' time. After 7 days, 9 points, 6 goals and 3 clean sheets. How about that, eh? Take it easy, guys. See you later.